DC Multiverse!
Good day, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brad, the DC Universe Geek, and today I have a review for you of the classic version of the Martian Manhunter from McFarlane Toys' DC Multiverse action figure line. We'll just quickly go through the box art here so we can get to the figure. We have the front, we have the side, and then we have the back with a big image. And you know what I always say, I kind of wish there was a bio on the back of this rather than just a picture. Out of the package, the figure is every bit classic looking as I know a lot of us fans had hoped for. He comes with a trading card, as usual, and a figure stand. Now I know there are people out there who customized this version of Martian Manhunter, the more modern styled version, part New 52, part DC Rebirth. Heck, I even see aspects of his design from DC Legends. And being that people customized this one into a more classic one, it has got to be a bit of a pain in the butt that this was probably planned all along. I mean, looking at them side by side, really the only new sculpted detail here is the harness across the chest and the trunks area, as well as the collar pieces that attach to the cape. But looking up close at the legs for both of them, they both share that same texture. I should have known that that was not pants texture, but that was actual skin texture. This was planned all along. And just doing a toe to head up close, I really like this. I know that some people aren't down with the texture of Martian Manhunter's skin, and I know that some people are really not fans of the face sculpt here. They feel like it's too cartoony looking, and I would disagree. As somebody who reads the comic books, there's plenty of times that his face actually looks like this, which up close is exactly the same as the previous one. There really is no difference, and they're pretty much the same paint applications. Here, let's put them side by side. Yeah, same face sculpt. Oh, by the way, here's a closer look at the trading card. Yep, that's the trading card. And here is the data file on the back, which you can pause to read if you'd like to. Now, I know that there is definitely one problem with this Martian Manhunter. I don't tend to get that upset about scale issues. I know some folks do, but this Martian Manhunter is actually shorter than the rest of the Justice League, which is odd. He should be at the very least the same height or even just a little bit taller. But really, I think that this is a great figure. I'm not going to complain about that so much because I'll just put him on a flight stand and, you know, call it a day. The cape for this Martian Manhunter is nice and really, really soft. You can see that it is in fact the exact same cape as the previous one, only the previous cape, though it's pretty soft itself, is not nearly as pliable as the one that came on the current version. Martian Man's collar is actually a separate piece. I will, in all likelihood, end up gluing it to the cape itself just at the base there so that, you know, it can't move around and that sort of thing. But I am curious as to how well this is articulated. Now, we can see that the harness here goes down inside the waist. I don't really know how articulated this is going to be. I don't want to push it too much because I can see that this harness really is going to get in the way, and I really don't want to damage it. You can see the articulation points, but I really don't know how usable I would say they are because of this whole setup. Of course, he has the little socket here with the rounded hinge, gives ample articulation, full 360 bicep swivel. You have double jointed elbows. You have the rounded hinge in the wrist that actually looks a lot less like just an ugly rounded hinge. And it actually has, you know, some wrinkles and skin definition there. Of course, the head is on that rounded barbell ball joint there. As for him being able to look up, yeah, not really, which makes, included with the harness, which makes flight poses perhaps a little challenging. I know for some of you that is going to be a big fat no-no, and I understand if you're really into action figure photography, that's going to tick you off. Also down here for the groin, we have the typical McFarlane groin. Those trunks, the little rubber trunks, they're going to get in the way somewhat, but they're not too bad, I suppose. There is a fair amount of rounded motion like this. The double jointed knees like that, quite acceptable. And then we have the ankles, which clearly are on the, you know, the little hinge with the pivot, and you have the toe articulation. It would have been kind of nice, actually, if there was something at the top of the boot here. I would have really liked that, or possibly even a thigh cut, but No, you know what? On second thought, a thigh cut would probably break up the look of the leg in this case, and it just wouldn't look as smooth. So, yeah, I'll take this in place of a thigh cut for this figure any day. As for comparisons with other Martian Manhunters other than the first release, we have the History of the DC Universe Martian Manhunter on one side here, and we have the Alex Ross version on the other. Then we have a DC Direct Ed McGuinness on the one side, along with an Oreo cookie eating Justice League International. Here we have two of the same sculpted DC Direct Martian Manhunters. And finally here we have a DC Universe Classics and a Superpowers on the other side. And here he is posed alongside various Justice League characters of the modern era. So what do I think about him? I think he's a pretty fantastic version of the Martian Manhunter. I know there will be those out there who disagree with me because they want him to be more articulated or taller or have perhaps better scaled anatomy or whatever. I'm not quite as picky as those folks. And it's okay if you are. I'm just not. I'm personally really stoked that I managed to get my hands on one. Not gonna lie, I snagged mine from eBay from a seller in China who was selling it for not too much. It's a Target exclusive, so chances are I won't even find it in Canada because Target exclusives go to Toys R Us, and I don't go to Toys R Us that often, so I just bought mine online. But yeah, those are my thoughts, observations, and opinions about the classic version of Todd McFarlane's DC Multiverse Martian Manhunter. What do you think about him? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you with the next one. Have yourself a DC day, everybody, and take care of yourself. Bye for now.